Alright class, so this lecture video we're going to talk about natural selection. So, with natural selection, we're talking about the idea that nature decides which traits, nature decides which traits are better than others. Nature decides which traits are better than others. So, one of the common beliefs of natural selection from people who maybe haven't been exposed to this very much is in a population, when we're looking at traits, that there's basically the good one and then get rid of everything else, right? So it would be kind of I'm going to erase this so you don't really have to add this to notes or anything, but here's the good trait that we want, and then here are all these other traits that are in the population. And people come into this thinking that natural selection's role is to keep this but get rid of everything else here. And that's just not true. Okay, that's not what not what natural selection is doing. So remember the comment of evolution has no foresight, right? So it would not make sense for evolution and natural selection to pick one thing based on what's here now, build it perfectly, and not have any options if that should change. That doesn't make sense, right? So we want as much variation as we can get in a population. So the only traits that are going to get really removed from a population are ones that are really, really, really bad. If there's a trait that pops up, say from a mutation, and that mutation is a really bad trait and it causes organisms to die prematurely or something like that, obviously we would kind of want to get that out of the population. Okay, so that sort of deleterious trait, yeah, I mean it can work and get rid of that from the population. Most of the time that's not what's happening though. Okay, and remember we're dealing really with a set of traits, right? Because when nature's deciding, it's not like it's really saying, oh, it doesn't matter about anything else. The fact that this has purple flowers is all that matters. I mean, that can't be true. There's got to be other factors that matter for the success of the organism. So we're dealing with really sets of traits. So I like showing people natural selection like this. So we have this set of best traits, and then we have this set of good traits, and then we have this set of okay traits. So you see we're kind of building a continuum, right? Best, good, okay, maybe so-so, not as good as okay, and then maybe what's less than so-so is not so good. Okay, so we get this whole continuum, and the idea here with natural selection is as we work from right to left on this picture I've drawn, what's happening is we're increasing survivorship, right? So things that have the so-so traits survive better than the not so good. Okay survive better than so-so. Good survives better than okay. Best, of course, is best. So we're increasing survivorship, and then if that is happening, we're also, really just by default, also going to be increasing what's called reproductive success. Right? Live longer, reproduce more, pass more genes on. That's happening as well as we go right to left on this series of traits. Okay, so natural selection is working with all of these things. So from this list that I've given you, this picture that I've given you, what gets selected the most, the best? Well, what gets selected the second most, the good, the third most, okay, etc. So even this not so good stuff over here, even that is selected some, right? Like if natural selection were saying not so good means never, we wouldn't even have that on our picture. That would not be possible on our picture. So just by saying it's on our picture and saying this is a set of not so good traits, I mean, it's going to get selected some, but then this gets selected a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then more, and here's the best. That's the most selection is happening with those best traits, right? And remember that this selection is happening for right now with today's environment, right? Right now for today's environment. So if something changes in the environment, right, something transitions, the environment changes, are the best still the best? Right? That's kind of what we have to think about, is if environment changes, what we're listing up here as the best set of traits, are they still going to be the best set of traits? Maybe, maybe not. Right? What determines that? What's determining if that is still the best set of traits? Well, what determines that is nature, right? Because it's natural selection. And if that environment changes, then maybe the okay set of traits now becomes the best, and maybe the best becomes not so good, right? These things can shuffle around depending on the environment. So it all comes back to that idea that there's no foresight, there's no way of predicting future environments and what is going to be needed. All right, so that's a little bit with how natural selection is working. Remember, this is the mechanism, right? This is what's driving evolutionary change. When we say accumulation of adaptive traits, right? Where are those adaptive traits coming from? This is it. They're coming from natural selection.